In the vast and rugged plains of Savuti, Botswana, life in the marsh pride thrived under the reign of the legendary lion Sekekama. Known for his imposing stature and unmatched strength, Sekekama ruled his territory with precision and power, ensuring the survival of his pride. Among his many cubs was Pretty Boy 2, a young male with a striking golden mane that hinted at the potential of his future. He was not alone in this world. His brothers, Sikoti, Waziba, and Romeo, grew alongside him, forming a bond of unity and loyalty. Pretty Boy the Seku's early life was one of safety and learning. The lionesses of the pride, including his mother, ensured the cubs were well fed and trained in the art of survival. Through their hunts, Pretty Boy 2 observed the skill and strategy required to take down prey in the harsh environment of Savuti. Sekekama, as a father and leader, displayed the strength needed to dominate not only prey, but also rival coalitions that dared to approach his territory. Despite the pride's unity, the rules of the savannah were unforgiving. Young males, once they reached a certain age, became threats to the pride's harmony. Their presence posed a danger to the new cubs, and tradition dictated that they would one day have to leave. For Pretty Boy 2 and his brothers, this reality loomed like a storm cloud over their otherwise tranquil existence. In those early days, Pretty Boy 2 admired the might of his father and the unity of the pride. But deep down he felt the pull of a destiny, yet unknown. The safety of the marsh pride was temporary, a fleeting moment in the eternal cycle of life. Fin Savuti. Change was inevitable, and for Pretty Boy 2 his journey had yet to begin. As time passed, Pretty Boy 2 and his brothers grew into strong, capable young lions. Their muscles thickened, their instincts sharpened, and their presence became impossible to ignore. But with maturity came the inevitable. Sekekama, ever the watchful ruler, knew it was time for his sons to leave. The balance of the pride depended on it. For Pretty Boy 2 and his brothers, the day of exile arrived suddenly with no ceremony or farewell. It was simply the way of the savannah. Forced out of the only home they had ever known, the brothers ventured into the unknown. The marsh pride's boundaries, once their playground, now became forbidden territory. Without the protection of their father or the unity of the pride, they faced a harsh reality. The savannah was no longer a place of comfort. It was a realm of danger, teeming with rival coalitions and predators ready to exploit their vulnerability. Pretty Boy 2 felt the weight of the challenge. He understood that their survival depended on their ability to adapt and work together. But beneath the surface there was uncertainty. Could their bond as brothers withstand the trials of exile? The journey ahead would test their strength, loyalty, and resilience in ways they could not yet imagine. Hello guys, if you like our stories and haven't subscribed yet, support our work and subscribe to the channel to help us. In the first weeks of exile, Pretty Boy 2 struggled to embrace the reality of their new lives. The safety of the marsh pride, where food and protection were guaranteed, seemed a distant memory. He hesitated to assert himself, allowing Waziba, his larger and more confident brother, to take the lead. Pretty Boy 2 questioned his own strength and role within the group, wondering if he could rise to the challenges that lay ahead. The savannah was relentless, prey was scarce, and rival coalitions roamed nearby, their roars echoing through the night as a reminder of constant threats. Pretty Boy 2 avoided unnecessary conflicts, believing it was safer to remain in the background. Yet this hesitance created a subtle tension within the group. As they navigated the unforgiving landscape, Pretty Boy 2 realized that avoiding responsibility was not an option. The savannah demanded courage, unity, and action. Pretty Boy 2 and his brothers found their mentor not in a single figure, but in the savannah itself. The harsh environment, with its unforgiving cycles of abundance and scarcity, became their greatest teacher. Each failure to secure a hunt or avoid danger taught them lessons in survival. Every encounter with rival coalitions and predators forced them to grow stronger, smarter, and more united. Pretty Boy 2, in particular, began to absorb these lessons deeply. He watched the behaviors of stronger predators, learning the nuances of strategy and patience. The shifting dynamics of their small coalition also provided insight into leadership and trust. Slowly, he started to recognize the savannah not as an enemy, but as a guide, a mentor that shaped them through trial and error. As the brothers adapted to their nomadic life, Pretty Boy too realized that their survival depended on his willingness to step into a more active role, embracing the lessons the savannah offered. The brothers' first major test came when they ventured into contested territory in the northern savannah. This area, rich in prey and water, was ruled by a lion known as Pretty Boy, a fierce and experienced male who had held the land for years. For Pretty Boy 2 and his brothers, this territory represented opportunity, a chance to establish themselves as a coalition and claim a place in the savannah's hierarchy. The confrontation was inevitable. As the brothers encroached on Pretty Boy Win's domain, his warning roars echoed across the plains. The battle that followed was brutal. Pretty Boy 2, despite his earlier reluctance, fought fiercely alongside his brothers. Waziba led the charge with brute force, while Pretty Boy 2 displayed surprising tactical skill, flanking their opponent and aiding in their collective assault. After a long and grueling fight, Pretty Boy I was forced to retreat. The brothers had prevailed, marking their first significant victory as a coalition. The territory, with its life-giving resources, was now theirs. For Pretty Boy 2, this moment symbolized a turning point. He had crossed the threshold from exile to belonging, proving not only his strength but also his value within the coalition. Their journey as leaders had truly begun. With their victory over Pretty Boy Thawai, the brothers secured their first territory, but the challenges had only just begun. The northern savannah, while rich in prey and water, was surrounded by rival coalitions and opportunistic predators. For Pretty Boy 2 and his brothers, holding their newly claimed land demanded constant vigilance and an unbreakable bond. Yet the savannah tested them relentlessly, threatening their unity and survival. The first test came in the form of rival coalitions. The roars of neighboring lions were a frequent reminder that their position was precarious. On one occasion, two solitary males ventured into their territory, testing the strength of the coalition. The brothers worked as a unit, with Pretty Boy 2 playing a key role in coordinating their response. Waziba's raw power was essential in driving the intruders away, but Pretty Boy 2's tactical approach, positioning the brothers to cut off escape routes, ensured their victory. These smaller conflicts reinforced the brothers' growing bond, but also exposed cracks in their dynamics. As they defended their land, Pretty Boy 2 began to find unexpected allies within the coalition. Romeo, the calmest of the brothers, emerged as a steadying influence, often mediating tensions between Pretty Boy 2 and Waziba. Sekoti, while quieter, proved to be a loyal and reliable partner in hunts. Together, these alliances helped Pretty Boy 2 navigate the complexities of leadership within the group, even as Waziba's dominance grew more apparent. The brothers' second major test came with the arrival of the dry season. Prey became scarce and waterholes turned into battlegrounds, attracting not only lions, but also hyenas, jackals, and other predators. One fateful night, the coalition encountered a large clan of hyenas scavenging near their kill. Outnumbered, the brothers faced an intense standoff. Pretty Boy 2, now more confident in his role, took charge of coordinating their defense. By working together, they managed to fend off the hyenas, but the victory came at a cost. Sekoti suffered a deep wound to his flank, a stark reminder of the dangers they faced. Despite their struggles, the coalition's bond deepened. Pretty Boy 2's resilience began to shine as he learned to navigate the savannah's challenges. He understood that survival was not just about brute strength, but also about strategy, timing, and trust. These lessons proved invaluable during their hunts, particularly when the brothers decided to target larger prey like zebras and buffalo. Pretty Boy the Seku's growing confidence allowed him to contribute more actively, ensuring their success even in the most difficult circumstances. Yet, not all threats came from outside the coalition. Within their group, Waziba's growing dominance created subtle tensions. His larger size and assertive nature often overshadowed Pretty Boy 2, who struggled to assert his place as an equal. The brothers remained united for now, but the seeds of rivalry were evident, threatening to disrupt their fragile balance. Through these tests, Pretty Boy 2 learned that survival in the savannah was a constant battle, not just against external enemies, but also against the dynamics within his own family. As the coalition matured, the challenges would only grow, but so too would their bond and determination to thrive. The coalition's hold on their territory grew stronger, but so did the pressures around them. With the dry season tightening its grip, prey became increasingly scarce, and their survival demanded bold risks. The brothers set their sights on a young elephant that had strayed from its herd, a daunting target, but one that could provide enough food to sustain them for days. The hunt was perilous from the start. The elephant, though young, was still powerful and fiercely defensive. As the brothers encircled their prey, each played a crucial role. Waziba led with brute force, charging the elephant head-on to distract it. Romeo and Sekekama flanked from the sides, keeping it off balance. Pretty Boy 2, observing carefully, coordinated their movements, ensuring their attack was methodical and precise. As the fight escalated, disaster struck. The elephant lashed out, with its trunk, catching Pretty Boy 2 off guard and throwing him to the ground. Injured but not defeated, he rose again, his determination unwavering. The coalition ultimately succeeded, bringing down the massive prey and securing a much-needed victory. However, the encounter left its mark. Pretty Boy 2's injuries forced him into a temporary retreat from active hunting, a humbling reminder of his vulnerability. Yet even in recovery, he contributed by strategizing and observing, further cementing his role as a quiet but indispensable member of the coalition. The battle with the elephant symbolized the savannah's merciless nature. Each victory came with sacrifices, and the ultimate test still loomed ahead. The coalition's unity was put to the ultimate test as internal tensions began to surface. Waziba, growing larger and more dominant with each passing season, started asserting his leadership more aggressively. Pretty Boy 2, once hesitant but now more confident, found himself increasingly at odds with his brother. Their rivalry came to a head during a critical moment, a dispute over a mating opportunity with one of the pride's lionesses. The confrontation was brief but intense. Waziba, with his imposing strength, quickly overpowered Pretty Boy 2, asserting his dominance. Although the physical battle ended swiftly, the symbolic weight of the event lingered. For Pretty Boy 2, it was a moment of reckoning. He realized that while he could not yet rival Waziba's dominance, his strength lay in his resilience, strategic mind, and his ability to maintain balance within the coalition. As the savannah demanded their focus, another trial awaited. A coalition of 3 rival males, drawn by the scent of prey and lionesses, encroached on their territory. The brothers had no choice but to defend their land. The ensuing battle was ferocious, with each member of the coalition playing a vital role. Waziba led the charge with sheer force, but Pretty Boy 2's tactical approach helped tip the scales. He anticipated the rivals' movements, positioning his brothers to outmaneuver the intruders. The coalition emerged victorious, driving the rivals away and solidifying their claim on the territory. For Pretty Boy 2, this victory was not only a testament to their strength as a unit, but also a personal triumph. Despite his struggles for status within the group, he had proven his worth once again. The ordeal left scars, both physical and emotional, but it also reinforced the coalition's bond as they prepared for the challenges still to come. The victory against the rival coalition marked a turning point for Pretty Boy 2 and his brothers. Their dominance over the northern savannah was no longer questioned, and their reputation as a powerful coalition began to spread. With their territory secured, they enjoyed a period of relative peace and prosperity. Prey was plentiful, and the lionesses under their protection began raising a new generation of cubs, a testament to the coalition's success as leaders. For Pretty Boy 2, this period brought a sense of validation. Though Waziba had firmly established himself as the dominant leader, Pretty Boy 2's contributions were undeniable. His tactical prowess during battles and his steadying influence within the group earned him the respect of his brothers and the pride. He no longer sought to challenge Waziba directly, but instead embraced his role as a strategist and protector, ensuring the coalition's survival through his quiet strength. The cubs playing in the tall grass symbolized the coalition's reward, the continuation of their lineage and the preservation of their legacy. For Pretty Boy 2, the sight of the thriving pride was a reminder that their sacrifices and struggles were not in vain. Their bond as brothers, though tested, had withstood the trials of the savannah, and their reign brought hope for a brighter future. As the coalition enjoyed their newfound stability, whispers of a growing threat began to reach their territory. To the south, a formidable coalition led by Sakiti, a legendary lion, was expanding its influence. The prospect of a future confrontation weighed heavily on Pretty Boy 2 and his brothers. Though their territory remained secure for now, they understood the savannah's relentless nature. Peace was always temporary. Pretty Boy 2, now more experienced and reflective, recognized the challenges ahead. The lessons of the past had prepared him for what was to come, but he also knew that survival required unity. While Waziba's dominance was unquestionable, Pretty Boy 2 continued to play his role as a stabilizing force within the coalition, ensuring their strength remained unbroken. The brothers patrolled their borders with vigilance, preparing for whatever the savannah would throw at them. The road ahead was uncertain, but together they were ready to face it. The coalition's resilience was tested once more when a pair of rogue males attempted to invade their territory. These intruders were young, bold, and desperate to establish themselves, posing a serious threat to the coalition's dominance. The confrontation was swift and brutal. Waziba led with his characteristic strength, while Romeo and Sekoti flanked to drive the rogues into a trap. Pretty Boy 2, despite his quieter demeanor, emerged as a warrior in this battle. Injuries sustained in earlier fights had not diminished his resolve. He lunged into the fray with calculated precision, his actions ensuring the coalition's coordination remained seamless. The rogues were overpowered and forced to retreat, leaving the brothers victorious once again. For Pretty Boy 2, this battle symbolized a personal rebirth. He proved to himself and his brothers that he was still vital to their survival, embodying the enduring spirit of their coalition in the face of relentless challenges. The coalition's triumphs brought more than territory and dominance. They secured a lasting legacy. Under their watch, the pride flourished. Cubs born and nurtured in safety symbolized the continuation of their lineage and the culmination of their struggles. Pretty Boy 2, once hesitant and overshadowed, had grown into a steadfast figure within the coalition. Though Waziba held the mantle of leadership, it was Pretty Boy 2's resilience and wisdom that often steadied their path. As the cubs played in the tall grass and the lionesses rested under the shade of acacia trees, Pretty Boy 2 stood watch, his golden mane glinting in the sun. He understood that their reign, like all things in the savannah, was temporary. But for now the coalition thrived. They had not only survived but shaped a dynasty, their roars echoing across the plains, a testament to the unbreakable bond of brothers who rose together against all odds. If you enjoy these fascinating documentaries about wildlife, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Until next time.